Beer Sports, whatever, episode 183 is back with a vengeance. We are joined by Texas A&M, the pride of Texas A&M, but mostly the pride of the Miami Dolphins, Hall of Famer, Ring of Honor, Mr. Richmond Webb.
Wait, don't forget, he was on the all-90s decade team also.
Okay, well, there it is. I mean, that's the third most important fact. But now, repeat guest of the Beer Sports Whatever podcast, Mr. Richmond Webb. Mr. Webb, it's good to have you here, sir.
Hey, Mike, Lewis, how y'all doing? It's glad to be back. How y'all been?
Doing great.
This is day one of Dolphins. They're getting started today. All right, the pump-up video, I've been playing it since 9:30 this morning. Dad's in his all aqua, so he thinks he's, ready to come out and be Tua's backup. So clearly Teddy Bridgewater is not needed. What did you, by the way, from now on, you will be Teron Armstead's, what did you call him? You thought that you were him? Is that what you were trying to say?
No, I didn't want people to confuse me with him because he wore the same jersey during his press conference.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Now that makes a lot more sense. We got a lot to talk about, Mr. Webb. This is going to be a Miami Dolphins heavy podcast, but we got college basketball to talk about. Yeah. We have got the Yankees clubhouse is chirping a little bit at the Astros. I want to get your take on how soft professional sports is becoming and how excited you are to not be a part of that anymore. So we got a lot of good stuff to talk about. So we won't waste any time. Tyreek Hill is a Dolphin, which I still can't believe. But your initial thoughts when that news broke, because I got 15 text messages in the dentist chair and I almost jumped out of the dentist chair. And that's not a good place to be jumping out of, if you know what I'm talking about.
No question, especially at the dentist. But any medical procedure you haven't done, whether it's major or minor, you don't want to be moving around when you're at
Okay. I also had a little bit of profanity. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Like I was mid scalpel in the mouth and I looked down at my phone and I definitely hollered out something and the hygienist almost had a heart attack.
They probably was just as happy once they found out what the news was. That's probably what it was.
That's fair. The lady was like, "What is going on?" I said, "Don't worry about it. Just finish the crown so I can get the hell out of here."
Yeah, but it caught everybody. I mean, my phone was blowing up as well. I think the thing that really surprised a lot of Dolphin fans is how aggressive and how Coach McDaniel and Chris Greer have gotten together and really addressed some of the needs that we needed in order to take that next step to go to the next level. So when you sign a guy like Tyreek Hill, a guy that really caught, I think what caught people by surprise is, when you have a weapon like that, typically you don't let a guy like that go, especially when he has a lot of upside still in front of him. He hadn't slowed down. He hadn't really missed a beat. And you know how important he is to Patrick Mahomes, with Travis Kelce and the other weapons. But you let someone like that go and his big playability, it was just – I think that's what really caught people off surprise. And then it just made people say, hey, this guy is not playing around. We're trying to get there now. It's not, we're going to graduate. There's nothing gradual. He's throwing everything, the kitchen sink and everything, and he's saying, hey, we're here to turn this thing around, and we're trying to get there like that.
So probably the best text I got of the day was from Lewis Brown that said, who would win in a 40-yard dash, me or the Lion? And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, we got the guy from Kansas City, the Lion guy. I said, no, he's a cheetah. Yeah. He's not known as the Lion. So I am like, okay, who is he talking about? Did we get somebody else? Did we get – no, but that, so I obviously said I thought he would win.
Well, he knew how fast you were, Michael. So even though he's a cheetah, when he lined up beside you, you would make him look like a lion. That's basically – you got to be able to read between the lines, but that's basically what he was saying.
Mr. Webb, I know you're kidding, but I am going to tell you that from now on, I'm going to say that an NFL Hall of Famer thinks that I am fast. I'm putting that on T-shirts. I'm buzzing that out on stickers, fanny packs, the likes. But I am waiting for the shirt, like the zoo shirt where it's got like the dolphin in the tank in the middle,
Yep.
and then you've got the cheetah running through the jungle on one side of the shirt. And then you've got, if they sign Tyrann Mathieu, the honey badger just lurking in the background, because you could just name a price and I would buy that shirt. But that's
and the penguin. And the penguin.
Oh, and the penguin.
Yeah, Mr. Waddle. Yeah.
Listen, man, Jalen Waddle can ball, but now you got Tyree. Like, who are you going to cover? You got Mostert coming out of the backfield with the Chase Edmonds. You got Mike Gesicki. You got Tyron Armstead, I should say, protecting the left side of the line, throwing to Dad. Who's the kid they got out of Dallas?
Cedric Wilson. Cedric
Wilson. You got Tyree. You got Hill. You got who are you going to double?
Somebody's not going to get no sleep. A lot of offensive is not going to get no sleep. So
listen,
Richmond, don't you think? I think Hill is a faster version of Mark Clayton. What do you think?
Oh, he's definitely, because Mark Clayton was just such a superb route runner. He didn't have the speed that Tyreek Hill had, but
right.
Just knew how to run routes, knew how to get open, whether it was man to man, whether it was end zone. He really understood that, and probably the guy that taught him and Duper a lot was Nat Moore. I mean, he was very instrumental when those guys came in. He took them under his wings and just, taught them and really excelled their production early on. But Nat Moore really helped them out. So, but yeah, Clayton was one of the best as far as running routes. He didn't have the speed that Tyreek had.
Plus, Clayton had that swagger. It was a swagger fest between him and Marino. But Clayton was not afraid to go over the middle, and I think Hill's going to give him that same type of grudge.
Did you just use the term swagger fest?
You like that? Say that? You can use that if you want. We'll make a T-shirt out of it.
I'm taken back. Where did you learn that? Did you just make that up? Because that's awesome.
Look, I'm here listening to my 8-track player, and I heard it on a song. What can I tell you?
Rich, look, let me ask you a question, right? Don't you lie to us, all right? Because we're family at this point. You come on BSW.
We H-Town. Yeah, come on with it.
You were more excited when they announced the Armstead deal than Tyreek Hill, right? I mean, as an offensive lineman, you got your juices flowing a little bit more with Tyrann Armstead coming to the Dolphins and Tyreek Hill. It's okay.
I knew. Well, I knew, and I think it wasn't a surprise to anyone that we really had to improve our offensive line. I think that was one of the stepping stones that really held us back, really limited what we could do offensively last year. So I think the reason that might have been a little bit more exciting or whatever, because it was kind of on the fence. He didn't make that decision right away. It was kind of, is he going to stay in New Orleans or is he going to come to Miami and this and that? And a lot of times you got to give the lean toward the team he's been with. He's been in New Orleans for several years, this and that. And so for him to just uproot and leave, he had to see some things that he truly believed in, and came here. And I mean, the fan base just went crazy, because while he was kind of trying to figure out what he was going to do, people were like, what do you think, Rich? What do you think he's coming? Do you think he's staying? I was like, man, I hope he comes, or we gotta wait and see. And I think that's the thing. A lot of times is, I think people already slot players in, but if you don't get them, it's a big disappointment. But when you do actually get that guy, I mean, everybody just excited. So it was great when we signed him.
Plus we'll do a crisscross, you and I, Rich. We got my UT guy, Connor Williams, who I think they're going to put him next to Armstead. And I think you've pretty much almost rebuilt that side of the line. I wasn't a big Connor Williams fan in college. I think A&M put out much better O-linemen, and I'm not just saying that because of you. Me and my buddy called the UT guys the Dancing Bears, But Connor Williams came in, and I think he's a nice player. And like I said, it's kind of like when you were there towards the end. At one point, Miami was, what free agent did not want to come there almost, you had a great O-line, you had a great quarterback, great receivers, you had South Beach. It seems like with this new coach, Miami's kind of becoming the place players want to come and play again.
Yeah, I agree with you. And it was a time, especially probably the early to the mid 2000s. A lot of guys would come visit. There's never been a problem having guys come to Miami to party, this and that. But at some point, guys want to go somewhere. If they're going to go, they want to go to where they have an opportunity to win. And a lot of times we wouldn't get a lot of free agents that normally, like you said, that's attractive. The weather, no state taxes,
right?
Great place to live, the nightlife, this and that. And guys were either hesitant or just made different decisions. Well, now you're seeing Coach McDaniel come in, and now we're getting those type of players. So it's exciting, and what he's put together so far on paper, I can't wait till we actually get it on the field and get things going. But they say
I think we should do a road trip. The three of us this year go to a game, because Michael and I went to the Falcon game with my beautiful wife and a friend of Michael's, and we did notice that your name was up there. I think it was next to Dick Anderson's, wasn't it?
Yep. And Dick went in the Ring of Honor together. Yeah, that's a good man there. Yeah.
So, Michael, you plan it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, let me get right on that. So how cool is it? There was something going around on Twitter. I'm pretty sure you were aware of this. There was a great interview. I don't know if you've seen the video. It's about 25 minutes long. OJ McDuffie hosted a roundtable with Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, Wes Welker. There was a movement on social media that we should get all of the legends of the Dolphins to coach their positions, right? So they got those guys. Then they're talking about you should coach the offensive line. We could have gotten Jason Taylor to coach the defensive line, Marino to come in to be the quarterback coach. First of all, I'd be down for all of that, but there was a pretty good backing of you to coach the offensive line.
Yep,
how cool is it that Dolphins Twitter is a really cool space, right?
Yes.
Like fans are just different, passionate, diehard, sometimes better for worse.
Yeah.
But that video and the guys that they're getting to come back to the organization is just cool, man. Like it's a cool time to be a Dolphins fan. McDaniel is instilling this culture where it's cool to be a Dolphins fan again. It feels like, not that it wasn't, but now more so than it was before.
No doubt, and it's long overdue. Like you said, when they brought back Sam Madison, Patrick Surtain, Wes Walker, I thought that was good for the organization. Bring some guys in, and I know the fan base get greedy, but I think that's a good enough mix of former players along with some of his staff that can really, make a difference, because not only are coaches, but they're players that play for the organization. So a lot of times you have an attachment there, and you want to see the Dolphins succeed because that's where you played, in the NFL. So with Jones and Howard, it's almost like a reincarnation of Sam Madison and Patrick Surtain, and to be able to coach those guys. And I'm sure Jones and Howard, really respect those two guys. And I know
those
both
guys
of them
were all pros, They weren't scrubs. These guys were all pros.
You learn from the best, and they were a tandem that, was
like Michael did for me,
Yeah. So I think it's a great thing. And even with Wes Walker, bringing him on. So everybody's that was a great interview. I didn't see all of it, but the parts I did, it was good interview.
If Mike McDaniel gets Jim Carrey to dress up as Ace Ventura and brings him out as a part of like Legends Weekend, I'm done. I quit. I don't even care if we win a Super Bowl or not, but if they get him to come out to the practice, I'm in. I'm in for life.
Be careful now. He was out on the West Coast, so that probably wouldn't be too hard for him to get Jim Carrey to do that. So you got to be careful what you ask for.
Mike McDaniel.
Okay. Yes. Mike McDaniel's just different. Like, does he remind you of anybody? Because for me, I was thinking about this. He's so just funky and like he's quirky and he's different and he's weird, but in an engaging type of way, right?
Yeah.
Like he's referenced Mike Jones in Dad, that's a rapper, here in the city of Houston, if you're not formally aware.
Does he have any 8-tracks out I can listen to?
No, there's not. I know it's not Chameleonaire. That's your guy.
That is my guy, though. I got to tell you.
But like, does he remind you of anybody?
I don't think he reminds. The closest probably, and I hadn't seen him go out there like that. But and it's a different sport. But I would probably say maybe Calipari from Kentucky, because he was a young coach. Yep. A lot of energy. He was able to recruit, go out, get these guys, and put a bunch of guys together, and they be really successful. I hadn't seen Calipari mention like rappers and stuff like that, but it's just something about him that he was a young guy that, he really started. He was one of the first coaches that was okay with one and done. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of older coaches shunned on. He's like, no, I understand. This is where we're going. This is what it is. He jumped in on it. And, now guys that wasn't receptive to that at that time have bought in and said, okay, let's do what's best for the kid. Hey, if you go, right. He would check out and say, well, they say you're a first rounder, you need to go, so. But he brings that type of energy that you almost be like, man, he's the head coach at the Dolphins. He don't seem like a head coach just because of the way he kind of carries himself. But I think he's that way with the fan base. I think he's that way with the players. But at the same time, when it's time to go to work, we're going to have fun, but we're going to work and we're going to win a lot of football games. That's just the way it seems like it's going to be with him.
Is there a matchup that you're more excited to see at Dolphins training camp than Xavier Howard and Tyreek Hill?
I know iron sharpens iron, so that will be they're gonna work to make each other better. So all it's gonna do is, I don't really care about the practices, just they're gonna take it out on whoever the opponent is on Sunday. So yeah, that's a great thing for me.
I feel like I know the answer to this question.
Okay.
But when you were going up against guys, right, in training camp, you're a Hall of Famer, right? The guy on the other side of the line more than likely was more scared of you than you were of them. But did it ever get to a point where you're like, oh, God, like, I got to see this dude again on rep number 75? Like, did it ever get to that point, or were you one of those guys that you looked at it and you were like, dude, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you line up against me. I'm going to pick him up. I'm going to throw him down, and we're going to go to the next rep.
No, the good thing is, I kind of mentioned that with Tyreek and Xavier Howard, but when I first got there, Jeff Cross was the guy I normally practiced against, and then outside linebackers was Hugh Green or EJ Jr. So they really helped me get ready for what I was going to face on Sundays. And then later on, they bring in this kid from Akron, some guy named Jason Taylor, and that was the guy I had to work against. So he was a great pass rusher. And as you get older, some of your skills start to diminish, this and that, but he helped keep me technically sound and sharpened up so I could still go out and perform on Sundays. Now, the thing about training camp back then was different. It was 2 days, 6 weeks of it, and you get tired of hitting the same guy all the time, this and that. So we would go work against other clubs and this and that. And that would kind of give you a spark, but just the mental drain of just going against the same guy all the time, that would kind of get old every now and then.
Was Brian Cox there, or was he gone by the time you got there?
No, I got there in 90. Brian got there in 91. So, he was an inside linebacker, but on third down, he was a really good pass rusher. So right. I would work against him when we were here in practice too. So, that's my man, B. Cox.
Yeah, I think the people in Buffalo love him, don't they?
Oh, they love him to death. They can't get enough of him. They hope he moves up there. Yeah, they love B. Cox.
I have a great story about Brian Cox that, Dad, I don't think you know this story. There is a Brian Cox jersey in Lewis Brown's garage that he picked up for $8.75 at a Buffalo exchange here in the city of Houston about 9 years ago.
Really?
And then he tried to sell it at one of his garage sales.
Yeah.
Because people love the Dolphins logo. See, I know people who have bought stuff at a Lewis Brown garage here in the city of Houston because it's either a 2X jersey of a player that no longer plays for the Rockets or and let me tell you something. So then somebody tried to buy it for $3 and he goes, I have $10 on it. And the guy goes, I'll give you $3.50. And Lewis Brown says, I'd rather throw it in my pool than sell it to you for $3.75.
Yep.
Smart man. That's what I'm talking about right there.
But the thing is, so is it cool for you to see? Let me ask you this: the rejuvenation of the University of Miami, right? The U with Cristobal going back and Jason Taylor taking a position there at the University of Miami. Being a Dolphin, did you fall in love with the U when you were there? Is it cool for you to see a guy like Jason Taylor stay in the city and join that staff? And now basically the city of Miami is going to dominate the world of football between the U and the Dolphins. Like, was that a cool story for you? Did you get closer to the University of Miami while being a Miami Dolphin?
I knew a lot of them. I had a lot of good friends. Even when I came out, one of my good friends was Cortez Kennedy. Knew Russell Maryland Wilson. So I knew a lot of those guys, Michael Irvin. Some of them was a little older than that, but just respected the way that they went out and competed on Saturdays. And, you know, they would make statements in the paper and then they would back it up. And then you had that little regime. And then, you know, the Ray Lewis's, that group, Ed Reed, that group came in and they was just, I mean, it just continued that you just never, and then they finally kept messing with them and kind of broke that up. And that's when you kind of seen like Alabama and some of these other schools taking off. But the U had a run for
Oh yeah, they did.
20 years easy. Mid 80s all the way to into the 2000s. So it was 20 some years, and you know they would just demoralize teams. It was just like, man, the confidence. I just love the way they was confidence, and no matter what happened, they believed they was gonna win the game, this and that, and it was part of what was already established there. And then guys that played at the U would always come back, and they had higher expectations. So you know that, like say Michael Irvin, he would get with the receivers and saying, you know, this is the way we do it at the U, or the defensive line. It was just right. You know, you had the Warren Saps, that group came. It was just, you know, Michael Barrow, Jesse Arnold. It was just Kevin Williams. I mean, it just, you name different, every 3 or 4 years, it was a new group coming in to run, you know, that. But I'm happy to see it. It was good for the city of Miami. And they had a lot of love from the U had a lot of love from South Florida when I was down there, and it's still that way today.
I love it. I got to switch gears a little bit because I've had multiple requests to get your opinion on what Texas A&M is going to do this year in football. Is this the year that they finally put it all together and get to a playoff? Because they've got the #1 recruiting class coming in. I feel like this is year 4 for Jimbo. The excuses got to stop at the door.
Yeah.
Is this the year for you, in your opinion, that they get it done? What is your outlook on what they've been able to bring in and your expectations for next year?
Yeah, I think the way the defense played last year, they played well enough to be one of the college to actually get in the playoff system. Offensively, they wasn't consistent, and a lot of that was due to me was quarterback play. Seemed at times we would have a lot of drop balls, this and that. But I think the key is finding out who's going to be the quarterback. And I'm going to go to the spring game. It's this Saturday, so I'm going to go put an eye on him. But I think that's key. I'm not so much concerned about the defense, but offensively, we had some young receivers, this and that, guys that's been there. And then with this recruiting class, some of those guys got to play. I think this is a year that we should be shooting for the college world. You got to get in the playoffs to actually have a chance. I mean, I know we're in the SEC West with, you know, Alabama, we got LSU, Auburn. Then you got Georgia, Florida, and others. But that's the league you play in. So you got to deal with the hand you dealt. But I think this is a year we take that step. It's just we got to find that quarterback, and I think that's what you got to have to be competitive consistently week in and week out versus where you're on the road or you're at home. You got to have consistent quarterback play, and I think it'll be Haynes King or Brad Johnson's son transferred from LSU. He's over there, and then we got a dual threat quarterback. He's a true freshman right here at Bridgeland High School, kind of on the up there for 290. So I've heard a lot of good things about him, but we got to find that quarterback if we're going to do it.
Both of you are going to be disappointed. There's only 3 spots in the playoff this year. Obviously, the University of Houston is already slotted into one of those spots. With everything that Dana's been doing, there, I fully expect the Houston Cougars to make their way into the playoffs.
Football? Whoa.
I mean, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna give you basketball. I'm just saying.
I was kidding. Listen. I come on, man.
I love UAs. Don't get me wrong.
Okay. I gotta cut that audio up though because the look on your face. What? No, I was talking about cross country or
just
swimming.
Talking about Cougars basketball, and they should have been in the Final Four. And I was like,
they should.
Yeah, he tried to slide that one in on me, Lewis.
Did they recruit you? Did U of H recruit you, or did UT recruit you?
Yep, both schools did. Yeah. Coming out, I was from the Dallas area, and I didn't want to go too far from home, so you can basically say everybody in the Southwest Conference. But I took a visit to Texas, Baylor, A&M, SMU, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State. Those are schools I took visits to. So.
Well, thank you for not going to Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, though. So.
What a school drop right there, right? Like you literally were just like, no big deal. Just went and saw like the 7 most important programs in the country. No big deal.
Well, I'm good with Lewis. He said, as long as I can go to Oklahoma State, I'm good. So
yeah, even though you went to A&M, but that's okay.
Okay. Let me ask you this. We Deshaun Watson going to Cleveland. Purely football. Do you love the move for Cleveland? Is that the move to make? I mean, $230 million guaranteed. By the way, Dad, thanks for not being 6'4", so I couldn't have gone to the NFL. Just throwing that out there. In my next life, if you and I are, still in the same family, I would like to be 6'4" in my next life. Because I'm pretty sure if I was 6'4", I'd be in the league right now because I could easily toss the rock around the field. There ain't no throw I can't make. Let me just
White
put it that way.
Shoes Santinello was the only guy I know, and maybe Jeff Wordeball, who should have gone. Sorry, Michael, but
I'm just saying, man. You could have been, 6'2". You married a woman that's 5'1". I had no shot to get anything outside of JV baseball.
You better leave that woman alone. You better stick with Lewis and leave Mama alone.
Yeah, Mama heard you too.
5'1" would whoop my ass, Richmond Webb. Let me tell you something.
I know. I'm trying to
scared
help
to death of that woman.
So, Richmond, do you think the Texans, looking at the deals that Seattle got, and do you think the Texans got enough?
I think they were happy with what they got. I think the thing that what I was really happy about, and when I say that, it's good for not just him but all players. But when Deshaun Watson got a fully guaranteed contract, somebody's got to be the first one to do that. And so now he's kind of broken the standard to where now you'll see other quarterbacks get fully guaranteed. So it'll start there and trickle down to other spots. But to get a fully guaranteed contract, that's unheard of in the NFL. That's like basketball or baseball. So when I heard that, I was happy about that. That is because that's groundbreaking. I don't know if anybody else has ever had a fully guaranteed contract in the NFL. So
all I can think of is guys like Jim Kelly and Elway and Marino. All I remember is every year is that they're going to redo their contract, put some money out so the team can go sign some other people, which is how these guys used to do it. But can you what do you think those guys would make today? You know,
they'd be at the top of the food. Back then, when I was playing, I think when quarterbacks were making like $5 million a year, that was a lot of money.
Yep.
And I think Aaron Rodgers is getting around 50 a year, so they would be right there, right up there in the 50s with him. Yeah, no easy, no argument, nothing. And maybe some of them would say, hey, okay, give me 40 something, because some of them might leave a little money on the table so we can sign some other guys. You know
exactly.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. It would be easy. It wouldn't even be a question whether they were worth it or whatever. Yeah, that's where they would be at.
Did you like the Ravens owner coming out and basically bashing the Cleveland owner for giving that guaranteed deal? Because I hated it. Like, if I'm the owner of the Browns, right? First of all, keep Will Smith, keep my name out your mouth, okay? Because I ain't got no. My business is not your business.
It is, but it ain't. And that's why I said that about the Deshaun Watson. When other owners saw that, they already knew it's a leak in the building, it's a crack in the dam, and they saying if this guy gets a guarantee, you're gonna see other quarterbacks. That's gonna be the thing. I want mine fully guaranteed. I want mine fully guaranteed, and that's how it starts. So when he got that, I was happy that he got it, because it changes the scope of things. Where before they say, well, we'll give you so much guaranteed, and we'll give you a big signing bonus. You guarantee it all. It's just like baseball or basketball. You don't have to give me a signing bonus, because all my money's guaranteed. I'm going to get all of it.
See, right. I don't want them to talk to each other. I want them to have a boxing match. You know how much more fun beefs would be today? You got to look. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, if you got beef with what I did, meet me in the ring. We'll go 3 rounds, 5 minutes apiece. And then at the end of the day,
you wouldn't want to see those old guys trying to fight him. You would want to see.
Right here, baby.
I'm just
right here.
No, I'm just saying, man. Like, all these Twitter beefs, I think Twitter beefs are the dumbest thing in the entire world, because I guarantee guys like you, guys like Jason Taylor, Zach Thomas, like you had a problem with it. Look right here, like you still got a problem. I'll meet you on the field in 10 minutes, and we'll finish this like men.
Yeah.
Like now. You know, Carlos Beltran, keeping it here in H-Town, was running his mouth on Yankees, network about the 2017 World Series. First of all, get over it. Second of all, if you're not going to return the ring, then shut your mouth. In your opinion, is that just running wild right now? And if there was the possibility of, let's just fight it out, how many of these beefs would we have to listen to?
Yeah. And the other thing about that is, I think some guys, they just love talking about it because it gives them attention that maybe they didn't. They're trying to get attention. But the Astros, it's been known, or recently came out within the last few months, that that's not the only team that was stealing signals and stuff like that. People will remember the Astros because that was the first team that came out, but it's other teams that's been doing it. And baseball is not going to really probably do too much about it, because it's good for the sport. You know what I'm saying? Not the stealing, but at one point, I can remember when I was playing a league and baseball wasn't so hot, and then it was Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, and my man out in San Francisco, Barry Bonds. When those home runs, when they start breaking those records and this and that, and then the question came up, were they taking steroids? At the time, it was good, because we would just watch ESPN to see, okay, Sosa's got 60. Mark McGwire might come back, okay, he hits 2 runs, 62. So it was like every day, it was like it was good, because it re-engaged people in the baseball.
It certainly did.
So
yeah. And this letter that the Yankees are appealing to the league, right, for now the second time. I don't know why they don't want this letter open. And Brian Cashman blaming the Astros for not winning a World Series since, 2009 or something like that. How about you just get better players? And how about you stop whining to the media and go do something about it?
And what's really in that letter that you won't do?
Yes! Yes! Listen, celebrity death match, right? Jim Crane against Brian Cashman in an MMA ring for 12 minutes, and let's see who comes out.
12 minutes. You know how long 12 minutes is? That's a long time, bro.
Well, okay.
No, that is. I mean, it don't sound like that. That's a long time to be wrestling and fighting somebody. I'm telling you that.
Well, that's fair because I have 2 minutes of fighting left in my life. One on behalf of me and one on behalf of my kids. And then I'm done.
Yeah.
Dad, were you ever in a fight? I want to know that. Now that we're on the topic of celebrity deathmatch, what was the last fight you were in?
I was always smart enough to talk my way out of it. No need. You know
Richmond
what?
Webb, does that surprise you at all? Because it shouldn't. Come on.
Look at this. I don't want this messed up.
Exactly. No. Yeah, he's a smooth operator. That's what I'm talking about right there.
That's right.
Oh my God. Hey. Before we wrap up, Mr. Webb, favorite barbecue in the city of Houston. Where are you sending people when they say, now that we're all residents of Houston, where are you sending people for barbecue here in the city?
If I'm going close to my house, I live real close to Rudy's. I like Burns Barbecue. It's over in Acres Home. I like Little Burns Barbecue. And I just found out it's Killian's Barbecue. They used to be in Pearland, but they got a place in the Woodlands now. So I'm going to check that out. I've always heard about their barbecue. Supposed to be really good, but they got one in the Woodlands. So that's close to me. So
I don't know, Michael. That sounds like an invitation to me.
It doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it does not.
He said he wanted us to come up and try it out with him.
You know we love to eat in Houston. Don't do that, Michael. You already know how we do it down here.
Come on.
Well, let me tell you something. Beer Sports Whatever would be more than happy to pick that tab up if we can go grab lunch somewhere sometime.
Yeah, we'll do that. That sounds
absolutely
good.
Okay,
I'm there. What town y'all
on? We're near NRG.
Okay.
Yeah, we're near NRG.
I'm trying to think of the other. It's right there at 610, kind of I-10. That is it Damaris Barbecue?
Ooh, Damaris is solid.
I've eaten there before. That's pretty good too.
Check out the pit room for the ribs.
Really?
Yeah, go to the pit room for ribs. You're welcome.
Okay.
And get a side of macaroni and cheese with it.
Okay.
And the garlic green beans. Yeah.
Garlic green beans.
Yeah, let me tell you something. Okay. Listen. All right. Food here in the H, we don't mess around.
In Richmond, when Michael says BSW is going to pick up the tab, that means Dad's going to pick up the tab. So
that's not true. That is not true. Listen, barbecue and Heath bars for everybody.
Yeah.
Amen.
Mr. Webb, we can't thank you enough for coming back on. This is fun,
thank you so much.
Hey, we always have a blast. I sure appreciate it, gentlemen.
We will we'll do it again sometime soon. Yeah.
No problem with me.
My man, this has been episode 183 of Beer Sports Whatever with the legend himself out of Sugar Land who once wiped his nose in an A&M t-shirt at Academy, Lewis Brown.
Not true, Richard. Not true.
It is true. I witnessed it. And the Hall of Famer, Mr. Richmond Webb. By the way, when the Dolphins win the Super Bowl this year, Dad, we're going to sponsor a float. And Richmond Webb's going to be on the Beer Sports Whatever float at the Dolphins parade. I think we should get that done.
Well, it's you know
how much fun we would have on that float? The first ever podcast recorded on a Super Bowl float. I would like to make that happen.
Richmond, before you played there, when I grew up there and had season tickets with my dad the first 10 years,
okay,
they actually had a tank with a dolphin in it in the end zone. And whenever an extra point was kicked, that dolphin was trained to take it and flip the ball out. So Snowflake was almost a reality.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't know about that. Okay.
You didn't wake up today thinking you were gonna find that out on an episode of Beer Sports Whatever. Look at you, Dad.
I did not know that.
You have a wealth of knowledge, Dad, that is beyond useless to 99.99% of the population, but we appreciate it.
And I am so proud of that I have knowledge that only the three of us would ever appreciate. So,
Mr. Webb, take it easy.
Thank you, Richard.
Beer Sports Whatever, episode 183. Y'all have a great week.
Thank you very much. I'll see you later.
My man.
Absolutely. Take care.